Okay, I just really want to get right to this. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to just have you watch all sorts of introductory stuff. Let's get right to it. And you don't have to watch this whole video because there might be a long section at the end since it's live. But please watch this first part. Now, I have seen many creators here on YouTube that I have followed because they do a thing I need to learn from. And I love watching these people. I watch to hear their stories about doing the thing that I want to do or I am doing. I want to know why they did this work, the work they're doing right now. I want to know what they're doing this week. I want to know how they did it. And I want to know how I can apply that to my work and my life. And to me, that's the point of YouTubers about a certain topic that you follow. Thought leaders, people who are doing the thing. So that's why I have to say I get so disappointed to learn that a YouTuber or a teacher that I like is no longer doing the thing that they are teaching on the site, or they're not doing the thing that built up the following of people that watched her or watched him. And I've seen this happen a lot of times. And I have to say, it's an easy way for me to hit the unsubscribe button on these people. Now you might say, whoa, Eric is serious this week. And I kind of am, because this is something that's been bothering me all week. We've been talking about it a little bit in the in the Discord, and I just have to say that I get disappointed when I see someone quit, or I see someone quit a part of the thing that they're doing, because to me, that's the whole reason that we watch them. You might as well get a beverage for this one, folks, because it's going to be a bit of a long rant. So now, these people may still be involved in their videos. They've maybe changed their content or whatever else they do. And they might say, I'll still do this or that and teach on this thing. They may have to do certain things just to keep their subscribers and keep selling the products and courses they have, or whatever. So every once in a while, they'll throw a bone to their audience about the thing, but they'll be moving on to something else, kind of, and really are really more focused on that new thing. They've gotten bored. They may even make like a declaration, a video, an actual video, maybe just for the fun of the clickbait, that says, and I've seen this on people who have paused their channels. I've seen this on people who have started new channels and are moving on to another different channel. And they make a clickbait title like "Why I'm Not Quitting" or something like that. Who would do that? But it announces their new focus. It announces their shift. It tells people why they're not doing a thing anymore or whatever. And that's fine. They put years into this thing, right? They've put years into a subject matter. And burnout is a real thing. I've been through it hundreds of times. But it's just part of what I do in my music. But the problem is, we've invested time here with this person and with videos for years. It's a bit like losing your favorite television show. We've followed them. We've enjoyed learning from them. They've become like family. And I have to say that I have clicked the unsubscribe button on channels before that just gave up the thing they wanted to learn. They started talking about their life and started vlogging about things that weren't really related to why I followed them in the first place. And so, to all that, I have to say, I want you to know this. And I want to make sure I'm clear on this. I'm not quitting. I can't quit. There's no way I can quit, because one reason I am not quitting and I can't quit is because this is my life's work, not this channel, not my ebooks, or if I should ever make a course or any of that stuff. That's not my life's work. Even this live video or anything I do on this channel, it's not my life's work. My life's work is, as I'm a composer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a producer, I'm a teacher, and not necessarily in that order, although composer pretty much does come first. My life's work is not to run a YouTube channel or blogs or websites. My life's work is to create music. My life's work is to get that music out into the world, and it has to get out there and become my legacy. And the reason it has to is because that's what I do. I can't stop doing that. It's just who I am, and I'll never quit it. I'll never stop it. And so that's one of the great things about Make Music Income and Hello Composers. Both those channels that I have, there's no matter what happens, I will always have information to report and teach on both these things, because that's what I'm doing every single day. And there's no way I'm going to stop doing any of that. It's just not who I am. It's not what I'm going to do. So I'm never quitting. And guess why? It's because I have no plans to ever stop. So you'll never see this video where I come on and go, you know what? I'm just not feeling music anymore. Or I'm not feeling, getting my music out or putting my music up to libraries, or I'm not feeling, working my butt off to get royalties. I just want to kind of compose whenever, or I'm just going to keep talking about this thing, but I'm not going to be doing it right now because, that's not going to happen with me. It's not going to happen with me because it can't happen with me. There's no way that can be who I am, because again, this is my life's work. I'm not quitting. I can't quit. I can't quit my life's work. You can't quit who you are. You can't quit being the person you are. And so my life's work happens to be what I talk about on this channel. And it happens to be what I talk about when I teach composers or I teach students or whatever. It's just who I am and who I will always be. And I hope that's the case for you as well. I didn't start making music so I could make a YouTube channel. I didn't start licensing to make a YouTube channel. I didn't start composing when I was 13 to start teaching about it. It happens as a natural byproduct of what I am doing. And I think that's where I'm going with this. I've got to teach from where I am. I'm a composer. I produce these compositions because I feel like God gave me this ability and it pleases me and Him, I hope. I put them out on my sites, on Spotify and places, and all the libraries that we've found over these past few years. And I just want to leave a legacy of what my music has been on this earth. And I'm sure many of you feel this way too. I hope that many of you feel this way too. I'm also, I want to talk about sync licensing and stock licensing and royalties and all that kind of stuff, because sync licensing was a thought out, focused 3-year process. Before I even got signed to any kind of library, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with that. It wasn't, and one day maybe I'll start a channel talking about sync licensing. And I don't think anybody does that. I don't think anybody starts doing a thing so they can later on start a channel and teach about it. If they do, that's kind of a backwards way of doing something that you have just a passion for. But it was sync licensing was a way to get the music out from me that would hopefully bring an income stream at some point. Stock music was a very similar thing that I found I could do with my catalog that was not going to sync, stuff that would never go in that world. It was just more non-exclusive and it was going to fit there. And that continues to be a steady stream. But again, I didn't start doing stock music, and I don't think anybody does to start a YouTube channel, yet here we are talking about that. The same goes with royalty streams from BMI, Identify, Sound Exchange, and all of these. They go with all of this. And so and all of them change on a weekly basis sometimes. There's stuff to talk about. And so I'm also working hard to get every song that I make up to Spotify, to Apple, to online stores. Now I'm starting to get stuff up to sheet music sites and things like that. I'm pitching a song today to a classical music kind of contest about getting my stuff in, that kind of thing. So teaching here online and in person with students is another thing that comes from the music that comes out. It just comes from doing. The point I'm trying to make here. And that's really where I want to get to with this, is why I do this channel and why I teach. And this goes along with why I won't quit. I teach because I compose and I produce and I put music out. And to me, that's how I teach. I can't teach without doing. If I don't do all the music things, hashtag all the music things, I don't have anything to talk about. If I'm not doing those things, I don't have anything to teach consistently if I'm not currently doing music. I can't to sell you an ebook about something that's current, or a course or anything like that if I'm not currently doing it myself. I can't give you current information that will make sense to you and be valuable to you. And that's why you're watching this video now, whether you're live, and thanks for being here live. We'll talk after this rant is over. It won't be that long because at some point I've got to quit this rant. But I have to do the thing. Many of you don't know that I have an older channel about keyboards and synthesizers that has lots of reviews and things. And some of those videos have 20,000, 30,000 views. I don't keep up with it that much because I only will review the keyboards I have usually. But the reason I do that in the first place was because I needed to get those keyboards sold, and I just love to talk about keyboards. And so there has to be a love about a thing before you can talk and teach people about it, I think. I think anybody could walk in and say, well, yeah, I was watching, reading the news, and I saw this is happening, and so let's talk about that thing. And that's more opinion versus real experience. So there have to be people who need that information that you bring them, and that's you. And there has to be current information that you are bringing them because you are involved in it. Now, you could just be a reporter and just report all the things you see going on. But I think, sorry about all this ranting, but I just think this is why I teach, because I do. I teach because I do. I say that a lot, but I think it's doing all the music things, hashtag all the music things, and how I make income from them is the whole basis of this channel. It's why I started it. I just thought I had things to say that other people weren't saying. And I don't think other people are saying what I'm saying now. So if I quit doing all the things, putting my music up to stock music, putting my music up to sync, writing music, producing music, publishing music, and all the other things I do that make me income, then what use is a channel called Make Music Income? It doesn't make any sense. So if I quit composing, do I just talk about on my composing channel things I know because I learned them once, and talk about what the circle of fifths is just because it's in a book somewhere? No, I have to teach because here's how it can help you, because here's how it helps me. And so to me, that's the important thing. So here's why I'll never quit. And this is getting to the wrap up, almost the wrap up. So that is my rant on quitting so far. I've said I do music because I can. I say this all the time. I do music because I can't not do music. I can't just not do music and not hear it in my head. It doesn't work that way. I go mow the grass and stuff comes into my brain. If I said tomorrow I was burned out and I wanted to do something else, like become a fiction writer, which is another thing that I like to do, I I don't know how I would do that. Even if I started, even if I did that, even if I went and said, you know what, sorry everyone, Make Music Income is now going to be called Make Fiction Income, how to write books and make income from them, which by the way, I barely ever have. Talk about, if you think stock music pays low, try being an author, a self-published author. But I've already started teaching on a full-time basis, and that has only made me more value my time composing. I value the time that I have to compose and teach on composing, do this channel, things like that, getting my music to libraries and opportunities to online places where people can hear the music. All of this, I plan, not this channel, but what I am doing musically. I plan to be my retirement, basically. It's going to bring me income for the next 3 decades. If I'm lucky enough to live 3 more decades, I plan that all of this is just going to grow and continue. I am a person who gets into things for a very long time. I got into basketball cards for almost 20 years, where other people, where my buddy and who got into it with me lasted about a year or two and then gave me all his cards. I stay in things for a very long time. I'm a guy who stays with stuff. Music is all I've ever done since I was 13. My dream was to be known first as a composer and a songwriter. My next dream was to get a degree in music composition. And although it took until last year, I finally did that. And as a matter of fact, I got a master's in music composition. Later, I dreamed of being a producer, and I lived that whole life and did all of that, which prepared me for what I'm doing now. And so now my goals are back to the simple things. I just want to be a composer, and I just want to teach. And so that's why we get to the end, not the end of this channel or the end of composing, but the end of this rant. And some people are saying, thank goodness. That's what I'm doing. I can't see a time where there will ever be a way that composing ends for me, music ends for me. I've even heard people I know of. I talked to somebody yesterday, said, I could see a time when music ends. There's no way I could see a time when music ends. And I hope that's that way with you. And I can't see a time really when teaching is going to end, whether it was a friend or a family member or artist or clients of some kind, or it's online followers like yourselves or students in class. I just always have something to talk about every day that is new because I am doing. I have something new that I just talked about. A lot of times I show these videos in class. You got to hear what I just said to these people. And I think that is a special and a precious work. So I will continue to compose, and I will try to continue to make music income with all my compositions, with all my arrangements, with all of the things that I create. And because of that, I will always teach from my experience. I will always be doing music. I will never, ever quit music. And by proxy, likely never stop teaching about it until I am physically or mentally unable to. When I had COVID, I couldn't think about doing anything. But hopefully I'll be physically fit and mentally fit to continue doing this as long as I live. So if you're still with me, thanks for listening to this long rant. But I just felt it was something that I wanted to say. I'll never quit. And I hope you will never quit either. But that's a whole other video. So thanks for watching. And now we'll talk to you soon. Maybe even right now. So, okay. So that's where I might end this video. Actually, not today, not here, not now. I'm not ending the stream. But that's where I might chop the video for future watchers. But now what I want to do is take questions and your thoughts about this. And I'm sure there's stuff in the chat. So please ask any questions about this and give me your thoughts about what I just said. And so sorry to hold all of you in the chat hostage so long, but now I'm going to kind of just go see who's here. Fret Noise, hello. Alex B is in the house. Arco, good to see you. Ronan, good morning. And Jonathan Carlisle is here. Baked Creations says I look very sad. Well, I was just being serious. Baked Creations. Um, Signature says it's good to see you safe. Yes, sorry again for not saying this, but we had a very easy time here at our house with the hurricane. So, as some of you may know, I'm in Florida, in Orlando area, and that is something that I I you have to deal with when you're in Florida is hurricanes. And so far, or like I said, we came through just fine. We lost a screen on our porch that blew out, but that'll be fixed. Other than that, we are very lucky to not lose power or internet unless I lose it while we're talking. Let's hope that doesn't happen. So, all right. Yeah, I hope everyone is safe. There's people who have gotten it much worse than me. Marley, music, hello. David D, well said, thank you. Arco says, yeah, I won't ever quit this because because I love doing music. When I do music, it's me, I'm being myself. Signature says, ditto. If Eric and Arco S aren't going to quit, who did? There's lots of people, Jonathan, who quit, or I perceive them as hearing them say quit. Well done, by the way, for 100% commitment. Well, that's just who I am. I'm not, this is not a brag. It's not even a humble brag. It's just what I do. And so that's the whole point of this video. I just needed to say this because I've seen some people kind of step aside from what they're doing on their YouTube channel, yet still want to keep people, the 300,000 people they have on their YouTube channel, they still want them to watch them and go to the grocery store and do other lifestyle things. I get that. Wow, I built this audience. Now I can do anything I want with them. That just doesn't sit well with me. You need to keep doing what we all came there for. And they will do even videos about, oh, how many people are going to quit now that I'm changing this thing. So, hey, Stevie B, thanks for being here, man. Hope you're having a good morning and a lovely beverage while you watch. We just had a lovely conversation yesterday. We're going to talk about some things on our that you'll want to tune in for on Monday on Steve's channel, because we have a really good a good podcast coming your way. Eddie Ake, hey, good to see you. I think with any hobby, when you start trying to make money from it, there is some aspect of it that removes the fun out of it. Music is part of our souls, and it will always be there. Yeah, I can speak to this a lot, Eddie, because I've been a producer for the last 25 years, and it sucked the life out of me. It put my composing on the back burner, even though I was doing a music thing, and I was celebrated for doing that music thing. I was a music producer, and I had an active music production company and music label, but yet I was not doing my music. I was not following really what I wanted to do. And so, and I think at some point these things go way past the hobby with us. Matthew says, there is a cynical, ruthless side to anything that involves money. Hopefully our love for music will carry us through. Right. I absolutely believe that. And Arco says he has a typhoon next week. Nature is destroying us. Well, nature has always destroyed us. Nature has been nature always. We just know more about every single aspect of it because of the coverage and the internet and how much that we are seeing. Whereas 50 years ago, there wasn't that much coverage. There wasn't enough news coverage of every single thing. So I think the hurricanes become must-see TV a little bit, and we deal with that here, and they get us all hyped up, and the grocery stores empty out, and no bread, no water, no gas. It's just everybody goes crazy, and then we get some wind. Some people have had it really bad and lost power, so I can understand that because wind blows things down on tree lines, and that certainly has happened here. So anyway, So I hope this has not been too overly ranty. Okay, it was really overly ranty. But any other questions or thoughts about this? I mean, this is something that I see on a monthly or weekly basis. I see different people saying, sitting down with the camera and looking at it and saying, I need a mental break. I need a break for my well-being, and that's fine. But I sometimes, and that's fine. Take a vacation, but don't say you're stopping doing this, or you're going to have to change the way the channel rolls out, or you're going to have to quit doing this thing so that you can do another thing. I think that only instills a bit of like, I think people could feel like, man, I've invested a lot of time in this. And it'd be like if Stevie B and I both said, we're just going to quit the podcast at 50. That's enough podcasts. And you don't need any more information because, yeah, stuff may change, but we got our own stuff going on. And to me, that's even more selfish than what you were talking about up there. I can't remember, Eddie, start trying to make money off a thing. And I still struggle with how to make income from the make music income channels and my Hello Composers channels. I'm just not, uh, since I teach so much outside of this, I don't need more teaching income, uh, but there is a how do I make income from this channel? I mean, lots of people are following it, and so far I've only done an ebook. Steve has started up his production music academy, which he works so hard on. He works so diligently to create stuff. We were just talking about that yesterday, and he is absolutely just working his butt off to provide new stuff for that academy. So if you're not in that music production academy, I don't have any stuff in the description right now, but I usually keep all the links by the time you watch this. If you're watching this on record, if I put this part in. But any other thoughts from everybody? Who is here? Where are you from? A few new names. Matthew, I think I remember seeing you here before. Eddie, I've seen you. There was somebody else that I wasn't. David D. I think you've been here before. Bake Creations. I don't remember seeing you before. Marley Music. Uh, that sounds a little familiar, but happy. Jonathan's here. Happy to see a lot of people that have been here before. Um, Arco says, I will be curious to know, how did you start stock music? I mean, how and from where did you get that idea? Well, that's funny you should ask that question because how I got started in stock music was when I started looking at YouTube channels like our friend Daniel of Stock Music Licensing. I started finding YouTube channels, and Stevie B's channel. Both those channels, I started seeing these guys report on stock music. There's a few other channels I saw, but I really didn't care for the people who were running them, the personalities of the people who were running the channel, so I ended up not watching them. But Steve was always just so helpful. Of course, he can't help. Uh, he can't help be helpful. He's from Canada. So Make Creation says, I listen to you in secret. Okay. Uh, Listening to you, I've become a contributor at Pond 5, uploaded 18 songs in 2 weeks. No rejections, no earnings either, but I don't care. If I don't make music, I would lose my mind, so it's a win for me. Thank you, Bake Creations. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you feel that way. That's the way I kind of got started with all this, by watching the channels that I watched, including Daniel of Stock Music Licensing. And I'm sure a lot of people in this chat and who are watching this video uh, probably watched Daniel in secret and said, maybe I could do this. And I was one of those people. And so it's just it's something that I just saw, because my focus had been for 3 years before that, was to really find libraries to put my music in, but sync libraries. And so I was looking at the film and television side, and I hadn't really, I knew, I guess, that there was stock stuff because I worked with stock libraries all the time to get video clips and to get photos and things. But I never thought, I guess I just never realized that I could put my music up there. I thought maybe it was just a company and they just had people that they kept to make the music. But no, it's us they want the music from and pay us very little for those things, but they also probably make very little. Stevie B says, haha, thanks, bud. This is a great way to start another long and challenging day of work. Stevie is very busy cranking out the hits and cranking out the courses. We all need to support and motivate each other, and this is an awesome community, no doubt. Arco says, I cannot quit as my family is full of musicians. Yeah, same. Marlik Music says, I look a little familiar. I lurk, lol. A lot of lurkers, that's okay. That's what YouTube's for, right? We all lurk and watch channels and don't say anything and kind of just. But I like to know what you guys are thinking, what questions you might have. That is helpful. And to finish the question from Arco about stock music, I had to. I had a lot of songs that I knew were never going to go into sync, and so I just had to find a place to put them. And stock music libraries were one that made sense for me. And so that's where I started to put them into Pond 5 and Audio Jungle and was accepted by both. I was very careful to use the top produced stuff I already had, like my piano music, which is easy to produce because it's just solo piano. And then my jazz stuff that still probably makes me the most money on those things and still makes me money on Spotify and all those kind of things. But that is how I kind of got started. Then I tried to get in Motion Array, which took a long time. And if any of you are watching and you're saying, how do I get in Motion Array? Be ready to wait. For those of us who just put our stuff in, we have to wait, for Motion Array to accept us, to Motion Array. Once we're accepted, it even takes, 12 or more days sometimes to get songs through and get them into the library. Let's see here. We got Brian Aitken. Hello, love your channel. Just finished up my studio rebuild from over the summer and ready to start creating music again. Thank you for all you do for the community. Hey, Brian, thank you for being here, and glad you are watching the channel and glad to have you here in the chat. So thanks for joining us live today, and hope the creating music in the studio rebuild. I'm kind of considering doing some things with my studio here, but I think I've got about the best. This table back here may go away just because I don't use this PC anymore, and I'm considering buying a Mac. So my studio might be rebuilt very soon too, Brian. Let's see here. Matthew says, I am from South Wales in the UK. Hello to all. Hello to you. Glad to have you from the UK. Jonathan says, when is your taxi membership up, Eric? Looking forward to watching your thoughts if you renew or not. Oh, believe me, that video script is already being written right now. I started it a few days ago, and there is a certain answer. As far as now, I mean, there's still, I think it's about a month and a half. It's sometime in October or November where I have to make that decision. I think November. But that said, I'm still submitting to briefs. I've still got stuff going in there, and we'll see how those do. But let's just put it this way. I've not heard from anybody ever. And so I'm going on 40 to 50 submissions now over the past 2 years, and or I should say, yeah, and probably about a fifth of that or a tenth of that forwarded. No, fifth forwarded. I don't know how many forwarded. We'll talk about all that in the taxi video. It's going to be real. It's going to be nice, and it's just going to be the real truth. That's all I say in my videos, whether you like it or not. And I'm sure someone won't like it, most likely, no matter what I say. Arco said, I restarted putting stuff into Pond 5. Let's see how it goes. Pond 5 to me is a $5 marketplace. As that's how it works for me, except I put all my higher end produced stuff, like my jazz stuff and anything that I work on with musicians, up at a higher price, more where I keep stuff for Audio Jungle, which is $25 or $30, something like that. But it's constant, and it's it's my second most it's the second most money I've made from libraries this year is on Pond 5. Last year it was Audio Jungle. I mean, literally the second most income I make from music up on stock or whatever you want to call on libraries is from Identify. It looks like that's going to be the actual biggest second income after Motion Array. And so, um, Eddie says, relate to this. If I sit down and say, I'm going to write a pop song today, it usually doesn't end up being good or fun. If I get inspired or suddenly have an idea, I'll run to my setup and write. That usually becomes good. I guess there's a balance of doing what we have to do, music business and logistics, and making sure we also write from a place of inspiration and creativity so it stays fun. Yeah, I guess you know what? I think at some point though you learn in this work, you learn to write on demand and produce on demand. And I had to do that as a producer who had to get stuff done. There's stuff I should be doing now instead of this live work wise, but we're kind of on a weird holiday here with a hurricane, and so but yeah, it to me, I do that too. I do that inspiration thing where I get it, inspiration, I just write. But I also do things where I'm just go into Logic and I'll just start messing around and see if something happens. That's always been another part of my process. This is stuff I'll talk about on my Hello Composers channel. And by the way, if you are not part of Hello Composers, and I don't have a link here, but please go be part of Hello Composers. It's something that I'm trying to start alongside this. It is not a channel that I'm doing to get away from make music income. It's another channel that I don't have time to talk. Another thing that I don't have time to talk about on this channel. So if you are not part of that, I would really appreciate you going to hellocomposers.com. That will take you right to the YouTube site, and go ahead and subscribe there. I'm started doing a lot of shorts there. My plan right now is to do shorts, teaching little things, and then do a live video once a week. Maybe starting next Wednesday, what I call office hours, where where the teacher talks to the students and takes your questions and things like that. So that will be next Wednesday, I believe, will be the first one of those. But otherwise, you'll be seeing lots of shorts there that just teach lessons. A lot of the lessons that I teach, a lot of the things that I talk about, they are very, I don't know, they're very dry. Some of the things I talk about, like I was talking about how to make a simple beat. Well, making a 5-minute video about a simple beat is not something that you want to you want to watch. But you can talk about it in a minute, teach that thing, and it's an idea I got last week from another channel, and it's really helped me launch Hello Composers again, and in a kind of a fun way, but still teach. But then there's going to be a longer live thing where I'll answer questions and stuff like that. So if you're interested, please go to that. So, but let's get back to today's topic. Why I'm not quitting. Hey, Eddie, thanks so much for subbing to that. Marley Music says, I like that you are making music that isn't all the same, corporate and hip hop. Yeah, for sure. I know certain genres make the most money, but I'm glad to see that music outside of that can make money and stop. Well, let me say this about that, though, Marley, and that is that I don't make as much money as Stevie makes on stock music, because Steve, um, he makes corporate and hip hop, and a lot of times corporate hip hop. But he makes exactly what the libraries want. He makes exactly what they need, and so that's why he is. That's why people like him. We know other people who do this. That's why they make thousands of dollars on Motion Array a month, and I make hundreds, and other of us make hundreds. But to be honest with you, that's what I like to create. Music that isn't all the same. I do holiday music, I do folk music, I do jazz. Anybody who does jazz, they're not going to make much money, but I do jazz. I do a lot of piano music. These aren't huge things. I do hymns, church hymns, especially on piano, but in different visions. And those all the time get downloads, but nothing on the level of what people are looking for when they go to a stock place and there's some YouTuber or something looking for some up-tempo corporate slash hip hop kind of groovy thing to put behind their video. So I get it. I get why I don't make as much, but I'm kind of adamant about doing what I want to do. And Eddie, you talked about a minute ago about, sitting down and just making something. I probably sit down less to make something that's exactly like Stevie's stuff in order for it to do well on Motion Array. And he knows this. We talked about this yesterday. And now I will tell you this, though, Marley. When I did sit down and copy I think it was a Stevie B song that was doing really well. It was one that was doing real well early this year, and he was really seeing some success with it. And so I copied it. I literally copied the form. I didn't copy the chords or anything, but I just made my own version of it, which ended up sounding like me, not like him. But guess what? That's probably my fifth best selling track on Motion Array, continues to be in the top 5 for me. So if I did that more, if I worked harder on things that sounded like corporate or hip hop or things that were doing good on Motion Array, I might do better on Motion Array. But I'm too stubborn. I want to do what I want to do musically. And so, and sometimes actually failing and not doing as well is a fun place to teach from. Steve can teach from a place of, hey, he's having his best month on this or that library or whatever, and show what he did. That's his thing. But I like to really just dip my toes in all sorts of different kinds of pools to see how they work and then report on them here. And I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy this channel, because again, I'm not doing the same thing over and over. If I was only talking about stock music, I might quit. I might say that's enough. I'm quitting, but I'm not quitting because my channel isn't based on stock licensing. It's not based on sync licensing. It's based on my music and how it works and why it works or why it doesn't work or what experiences I'm having. Same thing with my music and my Hello Composer site, where I talk about composing and the way I compose and the way I see doing certain things. And it's the same way on the keyboard channel that I have, and which is just about to get to 500. 500. As a matter of fact, why don't I just show you that channel? Or not, I'm not going to show it to you, but I will just put it here on the screen. And if you want to sub to that one's almost at 500 subscribers. And that's a big deal on YouTube because, and I think this is the name right now. I'm thinking of changing the name of this. So I think it is this. And this is the first time I've really announced about this channel because it started out so badly. But my cat really wants to get in here. He's going to tear up the thing unless he gets in. All right, here it is. It's called Creative Keyboards, and you can find it here at youtube.com/Creative Keyboards. I believe that is the name of it, but you may want to take a look at that, sub on that, and I really need to chastise my cat. So let's take a look at that site here real quick and make sure that works. Let's see. Does it work? There it is. Okay, so I'm going to share that with you now and let you see. First time ever. Who knew this would come up? But it's kind of funny that it is coming up. But I am going to share this tab with you, and then I'm going to go kill a cat. So that's it. That's what it looks like. That is Creative Keyboards. And if you want to join that, feel free to. So I'm at 489 subscribers with that. And so, yeah, I don't know. This kind of came about. And as you can see, some of these videos have a lot of views. But that all said, I am not leaving Make Music Income to talk about keyboards. It's just another kind of side hustle that I mean, it's not even a hustle. It doesn't do anything. I just actually put it up there to show you that. But if you'd like to subscribe to that, I'd be your best friend. And that would really help kind of grow that channel a little bit. Yeah, the cat is, and in a minute, he's going to cry to get out. And so he's trouble. And so there's no dealing with him. Um, so anyway, let's see. Arco says working on stuff for library submissions. Also have a list of libraries to submit to. Here, I'll show you what he's saying, so I don't have to read it all. We'll submit them one by one. My music is more for documentary. Don't know how they respond to them. Well, yeah, good luck with that, man. Libraries, every library is different. Every library is going to want something different. So I hope that works well with you. Marley said, um, agreed, my highest download on MA was something lo-fi, just trying something out. Yeah, lo-fi and me do not apparently get along. I love lo-fi. I listen to lo-fi all the time, but I think my lo-fi ends up being too jazzy. So, yes, cats in the background. Brian said, I'm a keyboard buying machine. Well, I have to tell you something. This is the first time that I've ever had two controllers only. I just have, I have the Native Instruments controller, and then I have the other controller, which is a more 88 note type of controller. And it's a beast. But I miss having an actual keyboard, an actual workstation or something like that. But what my problem is, I can't find and this is something I talk about on the channel, on the keyboard channel, is I went out and did a music store hunt for the best 88 note keyboard I could find. And it's very tough to find a keyboard, an 88 note keyboard that has good sounds, but also is an accurate MIDI controller. And that's one of the harder things I've found. Arco says, wow, having 3 channels, working with clients, composing for a library, you really have a packed routine. Yes, you forgot also teaching full-time every day, every weekday at a school where that takes up 10 hours of my day. Arco, you forgot about that part. Um, and as far as having 3 channels, the keyboard channel, I do a video. As you can see, there's not many videos on it. But because it's a searchable channel, if you're ever thinking of making a channel, make sure you do stuff that people search for. My channel still gets most of its views from my Pond 5 and my Motion Array and my stock licensing and sync licensing videos. Those get searched for and found. So if you want to create a YouTube channel, make sure you are creating something that people will search for. Because as you saw from that page, it's the videos that have gotten a lot are the ones that, here's this latest one. This is, by the way, this is the one that I have, the M-Audio Hammer 88 Pro unboxing. That's got 6,000 views in 7 months. I just put it up there. I haven't told anybody about it. You haven't been told about it. I didn't cross promote it on any site. That's from people searching for M-Audio Hammer 88 Pro unboxing, probably, because people love to see unboxings. I do have a review of this I'm getting ready to do at some point, and then a review of my other keyboard here. But look at the Yamaha P125 digital piano review I did a year ago. 23,000 views. Didn't do anything but put it up there. Then later I did the 515, which is a not easy to find keyboard, and not many people have it, which I miss dearly, but it just wasn't an accurate MIDI controller for piano as far as controlling keyscape and things like that. It has 26,000 views. So I'm telling you, that is just the way to go if you want to build a YouTube channel. Make sure you make videos about things people are going to search for. Argo says, man, I really appreciate that. It's hard to manage only 24 hours in the day. Yeah, and time management is the key. Time management is the key to all this life for sure. Well, I think I'm about done. If anybody has any other questions or topics you want to talk about, throw them in the chat now. Other than that, I'm going to go enjoy a day off from work because of the hurricane. People are still without power. People are still without internet here in town. Luckily, I'm not. But it was just really important to me. And this channel absolutely follows my just what I think in my head. I mean, it absolutely follows my heart and my head. And when I see something I'm just not crazy about, I'm just going to talk about it. I have to get that off my chest, and I think people need to see about this. And this video may end up being just the first part, and I may chop out the live part just because I'm not sure how interested people are in rambling lives that go on for an hour. But because it's important that people watch that first part, I think. And so I will likely cut the video at that point. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just let everybody watch this as it is. Remember, if you are new to watching this, I have something new for you guys. I forgot to tell you. A few weeks ago, Steve and I talked about a checklist that all the things you could do for your music. And I have put together, and it's out now, and it's free, the Do Everything checklist for your music. You can find it now. I put it up last night. You just go to makemusicincome.com/checklist, and you will see a new free download there for you. It's in our free section as well, but you can go right to it at makemusicincome.com/checklist, totally free. And just something that I used as an outline for our video when we talked about this. And you can absolutely go get that. So go pick that up. You'll find it at the makemusicincome.com site. Also, if you don't know, we have the How to Upload to Pond 5, the free course that I have for that. We have my strange and weird formal paper that I did this is the final paper I did for my master's. It's called the Ubiquitous Style, Form, and Instrumentation of Corporate Stock Music. So don't tell me I don't know about corporate stock music, but it was really based on the top 10 corporate stock music songs on Audio Jungle at the time that I wrote this paper. And that is at makemusicincome.com/ubiquitous. Ubiquitous. Gotta love that word. I also, as you probably know, have the 50 Ways to Make Music Income ebook, also free. So the only thing that is not free is my stock market, where, why, and how to sell your music, to submit your music to stock music licensing. If you are looking for a way to just find all the libraries in one place, and my thoughts on all of them and how to put your music up to them. Some of them have not worked out great for me, but some may work out great for you. I did not ever announce this very well, and I've got a video planned just focusing on this ebook. And I am currently writing a new ebook called Getting in Sync. So look for that soon. That was a little slip. I didn't mean to tell the title, but that's going to be what it is called. It's about getting into the sync world and how I did it. So that's the next ebook coming. And then coaching is back. I am doing a little bit of coaching here and there. As Arco just said, my schedule is very full, but there are some holes in there, and it's very inexpensive. You can grab a half hour or an hour if you just want to chat straight with me and talk on Zoom. Happy to do that as well. So also, if you're not part of our Discord, you are a crazy person. You should be part of our Discord. It is 700 plus now strong. 700 people in there talking about things, anything related to all that kind of stuff that we're talking about on this channel. Everything about making music income, publishing, everything. And then, of course, make sure you are subscribed to our podcast or watch our podcast here on this channel and on Stevie B's channel. We have a great time chatting every week and talking about, and here's an important part. We talk about why we're not quitting. We talk about what we're doing. We talk about our life's work, the stuff that we do. And that is what we talk about every week. We tell you what we're doing that week, the actual things, and they're different every single week because that's what we do, and we talk about not quitting. So, all right, last things here in the chat. Jonathan says, thanks for the video. Great as always. Thank you, Jonathan, for being here. Appreciate it. Arco says, congrats on 700 members in the Discord. Isn't that amazing? Really. Signature Music Services just sub. Thank you so much. And Marley says, yay, free. Arco says, so you need to do something special on Discord when you have 1,000 members. Really, we really do. I just passed 3,800 on my channel, I think, or 3,700, something. The channel continues to grow. Stevie's just got to 5,000 on his YouTube channel, I believe. So we just appreciate everybody who watches these videos and hangs out with us. Super thankful. So that's been about an hour. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. If you have any thoughts, put them in the chat of this video. I'll be sure to answer that question. Still not sure if I'm going to keep this whole thing. 3.75 subs. Yeah, not bad, eh? So very happy that the channel continues to grow, and looking forward to just lots more. I have so much more content, folks. I just did an interview with a guy the other day in the middle of the hurricane, as a matter of fact. It wasn't a hurricane for him, but it was mighty windy outside when I did that interview. I also have, I have something special coming up. Somebody big has agreed to do an interview with me. So that is going to be special. Oleg says, I'm not quitting, even living in wartime in my country. Music helps me a lot. Oleg, we are just all in awe of you and your work there in Ukraine, and praying for you guys every day. So hope that you are doing well. Enjoy. I hope music brings you some kind of peace through all of that. All right, everyone, thanks so much. Signature, thanks so much. Cheers to you as well. Everybody, gonna stop the stream now. Check out all the free stuff at makemusicincome.com, and just join us next time on the next video. Yeah, Arco, I'd love to interview Guy Michael Moore. I would love it. I really like watching his videos a lot. I use his videos to teach with in my classes sometimes. So see everybody. Gonna go. Cheers. Have a lovely